Alright guys, working on this Dutch door. Got multiple issues on this one. We're going to start with this door, which drops down a good 4 inches. And this was a quick diag. I have lifted it up and it's just kind of, it can fall at any moment. The only thing that holds this up are the snap rings. It's a snap ring above that keeps it from going up anymore. There's a snap ring below. And if you look down here, there's a snap ring that should be up here. So we'll see if we can have enough meat left on that little tiny ridge to get the snap ring back on it. If not, we'll have to replace these pins. The whole, you see the cotter pins, just hold the whole assembly together, and we'll have to replace that, take the pins out. But hopefully we can get the snap ring back in the groove and it will hold the door up. And they both are just laying right there. And it's failed. The snap rings both failed. Next we got a black tank issue and we have a macerator issue. So let's get at it. All right guys, so glad I bought these a long time ago. It's a set of Icon in out combination snap ring pliers. I use the 047s, which is my #1 size that I find that I use on campers. I started off with the snap-on pair, but the snap-on pair are straight, so I had to go with the 90. See, so as we can see here, got the complete set, and came in handy. These are, because this is such a common size, I keep these in a straight for working with doing Schwintech rebuilds and stuff. Yeah, they look like crap because I keep them in the toolbox. Maybe I'll clean them up one day, but yeah, that's what we got. So doors somewhat fixed, but ultimately this hardware is going to have to be replaced. I have put it back. I have replaced the snap rings and put them on there, but it's kind of stripped. You see those little channels? Whatever material it is, probably aluminum, with a steel snap ring and this heavy door riding on it. I'm surprised that's the only thing that's riding on it, but it is those 2 snap rings. And you can see how it's chewed that up down there. So we need to get the pins, the sleeves, the snap ring. You know, we need to get this hardware kit for this door. Pretty simple system though. I'm liking that Newmar. So very, very easy to remove the door. Just get rid of the piston, get rid of that pins, and then the door can come off. Okay, obviously you got to take the snap rings out and drop the door down first, but yeah, you can get this baby all took apart, which is pretty sweet. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. And he did say that because this Dometic cooler is in here, this door swings the most, you know, while you're tailgating at the games and whatnot. So that's probably why it wore out the quickest, whereas the rest of the doors are fine. Speaking of doors, we'll be moving down to this door. We have an issue with the black tank sensors not working, so all this stuff has to come out of here. And I will, yeah, that shelf, maybe that's something he added in. But yeah, that has to come out of there so we can have access to tanks. Because the black tank sensors are back here, that's what I need to get to, because the level's not reading at all. Looks like I got a ground bus bar. I'll start by, let's take a peek. I'll take that off and take a peek and see what we got. All right, so after removing, this has to come out. Then the pegboard that's behind it, which has felt backing, it's supporting pieces. Then you have access to the tank and the wiring. This one's using the float style sensors. Yes, at least on the black it is. Let's see where's the sensors for the, yeah. Oh, the harness is unplugged back here. But this will be the level sensor. It's using the float sensor. All right, so I think this is basically the float. Creates a ground, because this goes to ground. This is hot, and it's probably reading the voltage, so it's starting off empty at 11.1. So I think it's gonna be, the voltage should either, it's probably gonna go down until it's fully ground out, should be off. That's my guess without looking up the specs. All right, so we're filling the tank to test to see if this is mechanically working. We should see it electronically. So far, it's dropped to 10.4. And if this continues to drop down, we know that the mechanical portion is working and the electrical reading is coming here. So it's kind of almost like a variable resistor type deal. So let's see how far it goes. Right now we're at 10.6, and we'll see what the voltage is when we're at 11. And while it's doing that, I'll look up the schematics and the specs on this. Okay, so the pressure switches are under here. Those two guys right there. Let's see if I can get a better picture of it. That's it right there. Okay. But you gotta remove this, what is this called? The wet bay. We gotta remove the wet bay panel to get to that. So we gotta, and ultimately that has to come out. As far as the macerator switch, the power is back here. Go on to one of those. So have to trace that out and see where the power is stopping, probably back here somewhere. All right, guys, so for the macerator portion of this, I did open the compartment to get to the breakers, but then I decided to use my half split method where I start at the beginning or the end of the circuit. So I need to go to the switch to see if the switch had power. So when I checked my switch, I was able to see that my switch has power. Got a ground on the other side, showing that there's an electrical connection. But when I flip the switch, it grounds out the power. It's getting pulled down to ground. So I got like a dead short in my macerator here, which is this Thetford right here. So that's what you don't want to hear, but that's it right there. And these wires go from that switch to the blue wire, and it goes in the back. And, so yeah, bummer on that. Yeah, I'll look one of those up. Those sensors are back there. They're using pressure sensors for the tank monitors, and they're in a precarious place. Gotta take all this stuff out just to get to it. So no need in doing all that if you don't have the new one. So get a couple new pressure sensors, replace them both while we're back there. So that's the game plan for that. 2 pressure sensors, a Thetford macerator, and we're good. All right, so parts list. 2 pressure switches, because they're so hard to get to, and we need to change them both. We're gonna need 3 Valterra gate valves. As you can see, this macerator comes, this is glued on. You're not getting that off. No, that sucks. So all of that has to come off. This, we need that 45-degree elbow right there. And that elbow is gonna be fine. We're just gonna have to get the gate valve just so we can get the flanges. We just need the flange side. So either way, we got to buy the gate valve. So 3 valves, 45, 2 pressure switches, Sani-Con Thetford macerator assembly, and what else did we have? I think that's it. Oh, we need the hardware. The hardware for the door. Oh, I'm just videotaping this. Hardware for the door that is worn out. That hardware is shot. We need more hardware for that door, and that will solve all these issues. So that's where we're going with it, and I will try to source the part numbers. All right, guys, working on this Newmar. I need to replace this guy and a couple of those sensors. You have to remove the entire wet bay to get to it, and everything that's connected to it, and this little hydronic heater as well. All right, guys, time to change out this pump. If I'm able to, I really need to be able to, because I don't have all these fittings which are glued on. They just change out the guts. It's just as much work. It's probably more work. It's probably easier just to swap the thing out, aside from the plumbing. So what I'm running into is, as you can see, I got most of the screws up, but there's 2 in a very hard to get to place. Pretty much none of these you're getting to with regular means. I use the snap-on to get to all of these. If you have a right angle with a short bit, you should be able to get them too. This is a bit ratchet, but when I get back into here, even the bit ratchet, it's under that board, and that's why I bought this manual snap-on bit ratchet flex head, and I got a set of these whatever you call this brand. They're all super stubby bits. They're half-cut bits. So with this half-cut bit and this ratchet, let's see if I can, because it is a tight fit. Yeah. That's why I bought this thing. Because I know there's situations working on these campers, everything's tight to where there's nothing else that's gonna work. So just wanted to show that to you guys. Now I do have other little bit ratchet. This comes with one, but it's just not a very good one. So let me finish working that out and the one behind it, and we'll keep moving on. I've already placed the sensors back there, the pressure sensors that in this Newmar, that's what they use to create the levels. They don't have the screw in or the stick on. They're using pressure sensors. They go up from like 0.5 to 3 psi. All right, reassembly time. Show you some of these tools we're using, guys. This is, I don't know how I would have got those in without something like this, because see, the benefit of having a normal ratchet with this, right? You get it, whoever makes it. I like the snap-on one. I bought a snap-on one because you have to, in this case, I need to be able to hold my finger on the top of the ratchet to hold pressure as I'm swinging the ratchet. And this has a long arm and it's a lock and flex head, so I was able to get the great angle to make it easy. Same thing goes with the power ratchet, you know, the right angle drill. You got to have this stuff to work on stuff like this, guys. You're gonna have a bad day, you know, you're just gonna have a bad day if you don't have stuff like this. So these are some of the things that I'm using. Half cut bit set, working in conjunction with that ratchet was awesome. And got the new macerator pump in, the old one's back there. and I'm putting it all back together. I've tested the pump using a little jumper wire, which comes in handy for many things, the red one with the 2 male spades. Just bumped it really quickly. Don't want to burn up the pump. And I heard that it spun when I touched the 2 leads, because all this switch does is connect these 2 leads, which are probably grounds. I think it's giving it a ground. I think it's hot all the time, and then give it a ground on this one. So slow going, and you can't afford to tear up anything in here. You gotta go slow and take breaks as needed. Don't get frustrated, and you'll get it. 1 screw, 1 fastener at a time. Because I'll tell you, Newmar did not do us any favors with this bracket, with this plate. Getting the pump out was very difficult. That heater, which is a part of the hydronic heating system, that wasn't, they did not make it easy, guys, but it is doable. So let me keep plugging along and start hooking all these valves. They put the crimp rings on the outside of the panel, so it's a bit of a nightmare. All right, so if you got one of these Newmars and you open the door and it drops down, it's because the bushings and the hardware has failed, and that's what I'm changing out here. I figured I'd put this on just to show you a couple of tools I'm using. A lift table, pad, protect the finish. You just barely want to put pressure on it with your lift table. And then these snap-on pliers, they really work really well for snatching out the cotter pins, because the factory was out and I have to reuse these. And then my snap ring pliers, those are also snap-on. And now I'm to the point where I need to line this back up, and here's a use case for a very small hammer. I even could have went smaller. This is a 12 ounce. I could have even used an 8 ounce, something small to fit in here and drive that pin up when I line this door to go through these new bushings. See, this one's all done. This is all the new hardware, new pins. I just change it all, and they have improved the snap rings. They're making them heavier duty than the original ones, really thin. They beefed up the hardware on this, so glad we're going ahead and doing this. But yeah, see, with the lift table in place, it's easy to manipulate the door, and you're not going to scratch it or tear up anything. That's why we're using a foam mat. But yep, all I got to do is come out, lift up on the back side of the door to make that go in, and then slide my pin in. Okay, the new bushings are tight. All right, so you might have to give it a couple of taps. Just be careful. I mean, this is delicate. Now, I moved a little too fast. I need to put the other snap ring on here before you see it has to have a snap ring on the bottom and on the top of the hinge. And if it gives way, the snap ring is what's holding it. So, yep. So let me get my snap ring on there. That's definitely a 2-hand job, and get this door fixed.